Hey, my name's Tyler Stewart. I've been coming to Fellowship Church here a few years now, and this is my story. I was born into a Christian home. My mom and dad both loved the Lord and wanted me to also love Him. My dad, he was in the military, and so that resulted in us moving a lot. We got to see a lot of the world, and that was awesome, but at the same time, I wasn't able to form deep rooted friendships, lifelong friendships, as we were moving once every 3 years. And so I think as a result of that, I really idolized being accepted by others. I really tried my best to figure out how to impress other people, how to gain their acceptance, be loved by them. So I spent that was my drive all through middle school, all through high school. And after high school, I moved out of my parents' house with some buddies from high school. And I went to a local college during this time. And it was during this time that I really allowed this desire to be accepted by my peers to override any kind of moral foundation that was established earlier in my life. And I began to make bad decision after bad decision, and that just snowballed until I was far from God, living my life just the way I wanted to without any really regard for what was right, what was good for other people. It was all selfish. It was all just what's going to please me in this moment, what's going to bring me the most satisfaction. And this began to shift, where my identity was no longer in what people thought of me, and it became just this reckless pursuit of the next experience, the next substance, whatever it was. That was my pursuit, that was my desire, that was my identity. And I ended up hitting a point where I just felt purposeless. I was failing my classes, and I did the same stupid things every day. There was no reason for me to believe that those would be that the results would be different day to day. And I realized that if my life was going to be anything, I needed to make changes. And so it was during this time that I really fell back on the foundation that my parents laid for me. And I even though I wasn't following Christ, I knew that was a foundation, and that was something that was steady and sturdy and available to me. And so I found the strictest Bible school that I could and moved to the middle of nowhere in Florida and began to try to rebuild my life. And it was at this school that I began my personal relationship with Jesus. It was a great place to get away from the noise and the patterns and habits that I had formed in my life before. And God was able to work in my life to make me somebody who could be effective for Him and His kingdom. I still struggle and recognize that old version of myself who's just wanting to be accepted or just wanting to experience new things for the sake of themselves. But I know that in Christ I've found purpose, and that meaning allows me to stay focused on what's important and pursue goals that are glorifying to Him. The purpose that I've found in Christ, it allows me to stay constant despite the different things competing for my commitment. And then I'll also say that the last 4 years being engaged in the community at Fellowship has sparked another level of spiritual growth here. There's just a brotherhood that's shared in the men's ministry that I've not experienced at other churches I've been to, other communities I've been a part of. It's just a place where I'm challenged, but I'm also supported and loved by the people around me, and in turn I care about them as well. So I guess I just would like to end it with this. If you find yourself in a place where you're striving for the acceptance and affection of other people, or even if you're struggling with purposelessness, I just challenge you to get engaged in this community. There's a lot of great people here, a lot of people who will love you, who will come alongside you, who will challenge you, who want what's best for you. And so take advantage of that. There's not a lot of places where you're simultaneously safe to be vulnerable, but also challenged not to stay where you're at. And this place is a incubator for growth. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm just again so blessed to have received not only God's mercy in my life, but the promise of the resurrection and hope for the future.